Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me. We've got a couple of people in the chat already. I'm going to wait just a couple of minutes for people to join. But welcome along, those of you that are here. Let's see who's here. This light. I like this light. I shall drink some wine while people are joining us. Nice to see you all. Chin chin. Hello, everyone. Good to see you all. Just wait for people to join. We'll wait a couple of minutes. I hope you've all got your wine ready, because obviously you need wine with festive bake-alongs. You know, I'm going to pop that up there so that it's not in my way. Playing with my kitchen already. It's not a good sign. That's not going to work, is it? Let's do that. That's better. So who is with us? Let's see. Put a comment in the comments box. It'd be lovely to know if you're here on the live chat. Please say in your live chat if you're here and who you're baking with. Because this is a bit of a one-way street. And if you can hear me, obviously, that's very important. I have a new microphone here, which is hopefully working. I'm John, by the way, in case you didn't know. I happen to be the sales marketing and R&D director. If you're in our operations team or another part of the business, we don't usually interact. Hello. I hope you've got everything ready for your bake-along. I'll leave it just a couple more minutes while some people join us. More wine. I'm going to turn into Keith Floyd by the end of this. I can see it. So hopefully you've got all your ingredients in front of you and a nice big mixing bowl. You'll need scales as well and some parchment paper if you have it. No worries if you don't. It just helps get the cake out of the tin earlier on. Hello. Thank you for joining us. Jamil, who are you cooking with? Are you on your own? Have you got anyone with you? I assume you can hear me. I'm a little bit worried about my new microphone, whether it actually works or not. I can see people are trying to contact me on Teams, which is hilarious. Oh, lovely. Catherine with Jamil cooking along. So everybody needs their ingredients ready. Make sure that your butter is nice and at room temperature. If your butter's not at room temperature, you can put it in the microwave for 20 seconds or so, just to soften it up a little bit. Very important that it's soft. You need a nice big mixing bowl. You need a set of scales. Like I said, parchment paper. Now, the tin I'm going to use today is this. It's a 2-pound loaf tin. Now, you don't have to use a loaf tin. I quite like making it into a loaf. But what else you can use is a normal round tin with a springform base or a loose base. If you've got one of those, that's fine. About 8 or 10 inches in terms of a round tin that you could have. So that would be great. But what we're going to do with this first is we're going to grease it. So get a little bit of butter out your pack of butter. Oh, do you know, I haven't started with the most obvious thing, which is put the oven on. You can tell I'm new to this. So put the oven on 150 degrees C if you have a fan oven. If you have a standard oven, it's about 170. If you have a gas oven, I haven't got a clue. Probably gas mark 4, but who has a gas oven nowadays? So 150 for the oven. Hopefully that shouldn't take too long. So that's the oven at 150. Now you can get your butter. Get a little tub of the butter, plonk it in your tin, and then I use my hands because it's just easier. So make sure you grease your tin with the butter all the way around. Here we are. Let's get a cloth for my mucky fingers. So we've had other people join us. Let me know. Hello, Sarah. Nice to see you on board. Good luck with it all. If you have joined us, say in the chat box that you're here. It'd be lovely to hear from you, see what you're doing. So we've greased our tin, as you can see. Now, you don't have to do this, but if you have parchment paper, cut just a little strip that's about the width of the base of your tin. So that's it. And then you put that in the base of the tin. Now that will help you actually pull the cake out of the tin in one piece. Like that, see? As you see that, I'll go a little bit closer. You can see that we've buttered the tin and we've put the baking paper in there. So if you start doing that, that's that done. Dave Rich, hello. Thank you for joining us. I hope you're baking along. I hope it's not too cold in your roofless kitchen. But when you get down, I have a helper, in case you're wondering, who occasionally pops up. This is Cookie. Say hello, Cookie. There's people there. Yes, you just like all food, don't you? Yes, you do. Right, there we are. So now, the really easy bit is coming up. So what we need to do is you need to get your bowl on the scales. Zero that off. And we're going to start with 130 grams of butter. It's good if you chop this up just into cubes or, that kind of thing. Put that in the bowl. Now, this recipe is really, really easy because it's essentially put everything in a bowl and mix it up. Actually, the beauty of that is that when you've got a good fruit cake, what you're trying to do with the fruit cake is get all of the fruit evenly distributed through the cake. And actually, if you over mix a fruit cake, the fruit can actually sink to the bottom. And you don't want that. There we are. So that's all my butter. And then you want 250 grams of self-raising flour. So 250 grams goes into the bowl. Uh, 250 grams goes into the bowl. It is a lot, isn't it? It's a nice big cake. More wine. In Secret Santa today, the Searing team had Secret Santa today in our meeting. Kit got some wine charms. Now, I don't know if you've seen wine charms. I have some wine charms. I'm just going to come around and show the camera. That's my wine charm there. I have Elvis wine charms. That's Elvis's trousers, obviously. I thought it would go with my shirt. And it's so that you know whose glass of wine it is when you're having a party, whenever we have parties again. So we have Elvis ones. I think they're quite good fun. Rosie, nice that you're watching. You should be cooking along, or at least having some wine. I know you can't do that either. So we've put the flour in. Then you've got to put 130 grams of sugar. Now, soft light brown sugar is ideal. You can use golden caster sugar. You can use dark, soft brown sugar. Essentially a fine sugar that isn't white. So 130 grams of that. There we are. Then you need your spice. So you should have mixed spice and cinnamon. Now, if you're doing a non-festive bake, you can just use mixed spice. And 2 teaspoons of mixed spice is fine. In this one, though, I'm using 1 teaspoon of mixed spice with a little bit extra. Always have a little bit extra. And 1 teaspoon of cinnamon for a more festive flavour. So that's those 2 there. So what we've put in there is 250 grams of flour, 130 grams of butter, 130 grams of soft brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of mixed spice, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and then we have 2 last things to add in. I go to the fridge for some milk. Now, which of you keeps their eggs in the fridge? Tell me in the chat if you keep your eggs in the fridge, because you shouldn't keep your eggs in the fridge. When did you know a chicken's bum to be refrigerated? They'll always be at the wrong temperature if you keep them in the fridge for cooking and what have you, and there's absolutely no need to. So don't put your eggs in the fridge. So you need 3 eggs now, 3 eggs cracked straight into the bowl. 1, 2, 3. Always outside the fridge. You're right, Jamil. Absolutely. Never in the fridge. Sarah, that's naughty. You lose 10 brownie points, I'm afraid, for that. So that's 3 eggs. And the final thing is 100 millilitres of milk. Milliliters. I struggle to say millilitres. So 100 millilitres of milk is the last thing that goes in. Now, if you're a bit like Delia, you would have measured these all out already. So just put that 100 millilitres of milk in there. That's it. That's everything you need except the fruit. We don't put the fruit in before we mix it. Now, this is the fun bit because it will go everywhere and there'll be a big dust cloud. But what you want is an electric whisker if you have that. If you don't have an electric whisker, you can use a normal hand whisk and just, you know, with a lot of elbow grease. I don't like elbow grease, so I use an electric one. So put that in, and before you turn it on, just do a bit of combining of the egg with the mixture. Now, I'm going to mix this for literally 2 minutes. You don't want a really smooth mixture. You just want the ingredients combined. The butter will melt in the oven. The egg will do what it needs to do. You really only want to combine the ingredients loosely because, as I say, when you add the fruit then will disperse evenly through the cake rather than sink to the bottom. So this is going to be quite noisy. It might not even be a minute, and it's not that noisy. And that's it. That really is all that you need to do. If I show this up to the camera now, you can see that there's still big loads of cubes of butter in there, bits of butter. It looks a bit like a really dodgy nappy off a child. I don't know why I thought of that, but that's what I thought of. So a really loose mixture. And then right in front of me, I couldn't see them. Hopefully you have soaked your fruit beforehand. Now that allows the dried fruit to soak up some of the the alcohol or whatever you're using. You can have any kind of alcohol. Whiskey, port is really lovely. I've used brandy in this recipe, but whatever your favorite is. I know I spoke to Lauren today on reception, and she doesn't really like any of the dark spirits. So actually I said to her, you could use a rhubarb gin. She's got a rhubarb and ginger gin at home. Actually, that might work really well. A little bit of spirit in there is lovely. You can use apple juice as well to give you that kind of fermented apple flavour when it bakes. If you've forgotten to soak your fruit, that's fine. You can just put a little bit over the top, stir it round before it's ready. The mixed peel is really up to your choice. You can use 100% sultanas if you want, or currants. You can get a really good, at this time of year, mixed bag of fruit in the likes of Tesco and Sainsbury's, which contains a bit of orange peel and a bit of cranberry. Really nice bag of mixed fruit. What I've done here is I've got a 300-gram amount of that mixed fruit, and I've added another 100 grams of cranberries, dried cranberries, just to give a little bit more of that festive flavour. You can, as long as it's 400 grams of fruit, use any mix you want. So that's going to go straight into the bowl. Love the smell of the bowl. And then you're using a wooden spoon to combine it into the mix. And again, you don't need to do this too much, just until it's quite well combined. See, it didn't take me very long. That's the kind of mix you're looking for. Just a really, really rough mix. And then you need to pour this into your loaf tin or baking tin. These bowls are brilliant. They're so sturdy, but when they're full of mix, you need the arms of Fatima Whitbread to be able to lift them up. And I don't know why I picked Fatima Whitbread in that analogy. I think she was on the telly a couple of days ago talking about I'm a Celebrity. Was she in that one year? You say in the comments if Fatima Whitbread was in I'm a Celebrity one year. Obviously, I don't watch that kind of trashy telly. I'm all about The Only Way is Essex. So as you can see, that's quite full. The cake isn't going to rise that much. Isn't going to rise that much in the oven. But you are going to get a lovely, dense, rich fruit cake. So that's what it should look like. Actually, it is almost a 2-pound mixture. So you'll see it comes very close to the top of the loaf tin. If you were using a tin like this, it would probably be about 1/2 inch to 1 inch below the surface, but you still get that really lovely Christmas round cake look. And that smells absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous. So we put that in the oven. Now we're not going to hang around here while things bake because you need to bake it for 75 minutes. So if you set your timer for 75 minutes, hey Siri, time me 75 minutes. Okay. There we are. God bless Siri. 75 minutes. After 75 minutes, go and check your cake. It should have risen. It should be nice and golden brown. You need a skewer. Expelliarmus, or whatever they say in Harry Potter. If you haven't got that, you can use a sharp knife, a small sharp knife, or even the end of a spoon. So after 75 minutes, stick that in the middle of the cake, right to the base, pull it out again. And if it's nice and clean, it may be a little bit smeary, but if that's clear, then the cake is ready to come out. If you find there are darker smears or you can see little bits of cake mixture on there, that means it's not quite done. If that happens, bake it for another 10 minutes. So you can go up to 85 minutes, which is nearly an hour and a half. So 75 minutes to start, skewer it, see if it's baked. If it is baked and that comes out clean, put it on a wire rack to cool in the tin for 10 minutes and then lift it out the tin and leave it on the wire rack. If after 75 minutes it isn't clean, your skewer, leave it in for another 10 minutes. So another 10 minutes on top of the 75. Take it out, let it cool. So that's how to bake the cake. Now, very simply, when you've finished it and it's cool, you can dust it with icing sugar. This is my lockdown bag of icing sugar, which was the only icing sugar that Tesco had after everyone else got their icing sugar. Just get some icing sugar in a sieve, a couple of tablespoons in the sieve, knock it over the top of the loaf just after it's cooled. Keep it on the wire rack so that it falls around it and you can easily tidy up. And then that's it. Very, very simple. So if you followed that, if you've got your cake in the oven, again, 75 minutes, possibly 10 more if your skewer isn't clean. Let it cool in the tin for 10 minutes, then let it cool out of the tin on a wire rack for the rest of the time it takes to cool. And then once that's done, just get a couple of tablespoons of icing sugar in a sieve, dust it over the top, and you're done. So if you are doing this and breaking along, fantastic. Thank you for joining us. And we'd love to see a picture of your cake. Post it on MyRich so we can see how well you've done. I will post the recipe after this video is done. But thank you for joining me. It's been really, really great to have this bake along. Let me know in the comments if you've enjoyed it. And if you are here and you're on YouTube, that's really great. Can you go and have a sneaky look at my Dad That Cooks channel and subscribe to it? I'd really appreciate that. So go and check out my channel, subscribe to the channel. I'm doing some really nice videos with some friends around cooking with your kids, cooking with your family, trying to get dads to cook, and teaching kids a little bit about where their food comes from. So it'd be great if you subscribe to that channel and you can see what else we're up to. So thanks, everyone. Good luck with your bakes. Don't forget, go back, check it out, make sure it's okay. Keep an eye on it after 75 minutes. Good luck. And I can't wait to see all your bakes. Thanks, everyone. Bye.